Hi guys, thanks for clicking on the video today. My name is Maria and I'm back with another video. And in today's video, y'all, I want to answer the question, how do I find my perfect foundation shade? Now, somebody actually asked me this recently and this is what I told them. So let's go ahead and I just want to break it down in case there's anyone else out there who's wondering, how do I find my perfect foundation shade? So finding the perfect foundation shade can be overwhelming. I believe foundation is a beauty essential that really can transform your makeup look. First, you need to determine your skin type. Is it oily? Is it dry? Is it combination or sensitive? Knowing your skin type will help you choose a formula, a foundation formula that's best for your skin. Next, understand your undertone. Are you warm, cool, or neutral? There are only 3 undertones: warm, cool, and neutral. And one of the most common ways to determine your undertone is look at the veins in your wrist. Look at the veins in your wrist. If you have green veins, you're typically a warm undertone. If you have blue veins, you're typically a cool undertone. And if you just can't tell what the color is, go ahead and go with a neutral undertone. You can't go wrong. Also, understanding your undertone, look at the jewelry that you wear. If you really like gold jewelry, gold earrings, gold necklaces, and you feel like your skin looks best up against golden tones, then you may be a warm undertone. But if on the flip side, if you like silver, you go with silver jewelry all the time, then you may be a cool undertone. And if you feel like, hey, you know what, I can wear gold or silver jewelry, it really doesn't matter to me, then you can go with a neutral undertone. So once you understand your undertone, then we can start looking at the shades of foundations. So one of the ways to really kind of match the perfect shade to your skin is test your foundations on the jawline. Now, this is something that I think this is where it gets complicated, because some people like to match their foundations to their face. You can match your foundation to your neck. You can match your foundations to your chest. Now, recently, a friend of mine, she had a rude awakening. She went to Sephora and had them match her foundation to her face. Now, her face is a lot darker than her chest. And she was getting ready for an event. She wanted to buy a new foundation. She went through the steps, put on her makeup, and then she was really disappointed because she had a darker face and a lighter chest. And so sometimes you want to be careful with that. I told her, just take the foundation back and ask them to match you to your chest. That way, once your makeup is done, everything looks seamless. So I always think about that. I prefer to match my foundations to my face. Now, if you look at my face, y'all, I have about 3 different shades on my face. I'm darker around the perimeter of my face and I'm lighter in the center. I also have dark circles. So I always say I have 3 different shades on my face. So I'm going to be taking some steps today using the foundations that I have to show you guys how I select the foundation shades that I selected. We're going to be talking about different brands, and hopefully this will help you match the right foundation or the right foundation shade to your skin tone. Okay? And then the last thing I want you guys to take into consideration before we get started with the video, think about the finish of the foundation that you want. Do you want something that's matte? Do you want something that's dewy? Do you want a natural finish? Do you want something that's radiant? Just think about that, because this choice can really change the outcome of your makeup. All right, guys, so what we're going to be doing in this video, we're going to be swatching all of my foundations. I have about 9 foundations, y'all. We're going to swatch them so I can just show you guys how I select the shades. Again, I match to my face. And because I feel like I am the same color on my face pretty much as I am on my chest. And really, I don't wear a lot of sleeveless clothing. So that's something that I think about. So I don't have to worry about trying to match to my chest or to my neck or anything. I just match to my face. And I take all these three different shades, and that's how I match. So let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, guys. So the first thing I did when I started wearing makeup during the pandemic, one of the things I had to do in order to choose my foundation shades, since I could go into the store to be swatched, I just relied on past knowledge that I've had. So the first thing I would tell anyone to do, if you have the opportunity, go to a beauty counter and let a professional help you find your match. Now, I did this back in the 90s with MAC. I went to the MAC counter. I would never forget. The lady told me I was neutral, warm 45, NW 45. And that helped me to understand my undertone. And that's what I took into this new journey with makeup. I'm a warm undertone. And after I did a little bit of research on the internet, I found that yes, my veins are green. I love gold jewelry. And so I'm a warm undertone, but I can also be neutral. So those are the things that I took into my mindset when I started buying foundations. The second thing I did was I watched YouTube. I found people on YouTube that looked like me. I jotted down the foundations they were using. I jotted down the shades they were using, and then I just ordered some things and tried them out. Some things worked, some things didn't. It was just all trial and error. So I want to get into this video. Y'all feel like my intro is going to be so long because I want to make sure I'm clear, and I want to make sure people walk away from the video with some valuable information that you can take out into the world with you, whether it's going to Sephora, whether it's going to a mall, to a makeup counter, or where you're just going to start just watching different YouTube videos to try to get some help on how to find the right foundation and the right foundation shade for you. So we're going to get started. I'm going to be swatching each foundation that I have on this side of my face. And honestly, I want you guys to tell me if I did a good job. Because like I said, all the foundations that I have, I've ordered online. I have not been into anybody's store or anything like that. So let me know if I did a good job. Let me know. Let me know down below in the comments. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, guys, we're going to start at the beginning. The first foundation I purchased after Fashion Fair. The first foundation I've ever purchased back in the 90s was the MAC Studio Fix Powder Plus Foundation. This is in the shade NW45. And y'all, this is a foundation I'm going to keep with me no matter what. Even when I started wearing foundation during the pandemic, I had an old one of these. I had to throw it out, y'all. It was old. So this is a new one, and I'm going to always have this in my collection no matter what. So I'm going to swatch this because I want you guys to tell me, am I still NW45? I believe I am. And I'm going to have to use my finger, y'all, and I hope this works. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all, I filmed a video like this. This is the second time me trying to do this because I couldn't even see the foundations. So this is NW45. And like I said, I match my foundations to the perimeter of my face. As you can see, I am lighter in the center, darker around the edges. So, and what you want when you are testing out a foundation, you want a seamless blend. You don't want to be able to tell where your skin ends and the foundation begins. You want it to just blend seamlessly. So let me know, guys. Is NW45 still my shade? Now this foundation is a full coverage. I think it's like a 12-hour foundation. But you can make it light. If you just want a light coverage, use a fluffy brush to dust it all over your face. That's how I used to wear it back in the 90s. But if you want a fuller coverage, you can use a powder puff or a dense brush, and it really will give you that full coverage. But it's beautiful on. It goes on powdery. But as you wear this throughout the day, it gets it turns into like a cream. Like a creamy. Once it matches with the oils in your skin, it turns into like a creamy foundation. And that's one thing that I love about this. So, yeah. I think this still is my shade, NW45. All right, guys, so next we're going to swatch this. This is another MAC foundation that I have. This is the Studio Radiance Serum Powered Foundation. This is the first liquid foundation that I've ever used from MAC. And when I purchased back in the 90s, when I purchased the powder foundation, I was specifically candid with the beauty advisor. I was like, look, I don't want a liquid foundation, because during that time, I felt like liquid foundations were messy, and I didn't understand powders and how to set it, because I just felt like, you know, liquid foundation was just too messy. It was going to transfer all over my clothes. And so when she introduced me to the powder foundation, I just never looked back. So recently I purchased the Studio Radiance Serum Power Foundation, and I like it. Now, this is in the shade NC50. This is a cool tone foundation. Why would you order a cool tone foundation, Maria, if you said you are a warm tone? Well, I went to order the NW45 and they didn't have it. So I saw another creator who I felt looked like me. We were like shade twins, and she was using NC50. And I said, I'll go ahead and try it. So that's another tip I want to say. Be open to just try something. If you're really not sure, just try. Just try the foundation out. I know a lot of places, you know, give you the opportunity to bring makeup items back, so you can always return it. So we're going to swatch NC50. And y'all, I'm going to be honest, MAC has probably the most complicated shade names. They're usually 1 or 2 letters and 1 to 2 numbers. So you may say NW45, 2 letters, 2 numbers. They also have 1 letter and 1 number, which like the C9s, the C5s, and all of that. I'd never even venture into that territory. And you know, MAC has at least over 50 different shades to their foundations. So MAC, it can be a bit intimidating. But this is NC50. I'm going to turn the light off, guys, because I forgot. Another tip is to test your foundations in natural light. So NC50. So I just opened the window here. And a lot of times, you know, you have to really blend the foundations out. So let me know in the comment section, do you feel like NC50 is my shade? I would have preferred the NW45, but I've worn this a million times, so I really do I like this shade, but I do prefer the NW, a warmer undertone. Alright guys, so the next foundation that I have is my DIOR foundation. This is the DIOR Backstage Face and Body Foundation. I have the shade 6N. Now this is a neutral shade. I had the choice to choose 6N or 6W. And I went with 6N because I really felt like the 6W, this is just eyeballing it. It looked like it was too warm, like it was borderline orange. So I said, you know what? I'm ordering online. I don't want to make a mistake, so I kept it neutral. And hey, there's nothing wrong with being neutral. So we're going to test this out. Again, y'all, we are still in natural light. And the one thing I like about DIOR, while I said MAC has the most complicated shade system, I think DIOR has the simplest, because it's 1 number, 1 letter. 6N, 6W, 5N, 5W. And I like that. So let's see. And see, this is neutral and it still kind of looks very warm. Another reason why I really like the DIOR Face and Body foundation. So for my friend who went to Sephora to get shade match, they suggested a NARS foundation to her, which is great. I love NARS foundation. Actually, the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation is one of my favorite foundations. I had it, I used it up, I need to repurchase. But something like this is for the face and the body. So if you are wearing something that is sleeveless and you want to keep your makeup, you know, your complexion, your skin tone to be seamless, you can bring this down to the neck, you can bring this down to the chest. I have done that and it looks absolutely beautiful. I also have used this on my arms. I've used this on my legs. So it just keeps everything uniform. So if you're thinking about something that really would keep your skin, you know, seamless, your skin tone seamless, think about trying the DIOR Face and Body foundation. Again, they have a very simple shade system with the one number, one letter. Try the one size, turn up the base, full beat foundation. This is in the shade 25N. Now for this foundation, I used the Sephora shade finder to help me pick out a shade because I was honestly intimidated by the one size shade system. So they typically give you 2 numbers and 2 letters. Kind of like MAC, but for some reason it was just complicated to me. I don't know. But, well, they give you two numbers and 1 letter. I'm sorry, 2 numbers, 1 letter. This is 25N. So when I did the shade finder to help me pick out a shade, it gave me 2 foundations. It gave me 25N and 45G. And that was one of the reasons why I was kind of hesitant, because jump for the color 25 to 45, it just seemed weird to me. So I went ahead and just stuck with the 25N, and we're going to see if this is my shade. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've only worn this foundation maybe twice. So this is 25N. One size, turn up the base. This is a full coverage foundation, meaning that it's going to cover everything. Now looking at this, I can barely see it, so I don't know if you guys can see it. So that's what you want. You want a foundation that blends into your skin to where you can't even see it, you can't even tell. It just disappears or blends in. I feel like this just kind of disappears if I was to keep blending it out. But I'm curious about that 45G, which is 45 golden, which is another term for warm. So you let me know down below, guys. Is this my shade? The next foundation we're going to use is a stick foundation. This is the Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte Stick Foundation, maybe, or Traceless Foundation Stick. Anyway, it's a foundation stick from Tom Ford. It is discontinued, so it's no longer available. But I am so glad I got my hands on this because I love foundation sticks. And foundation sticks are really good for those who have dry skin because this is a creamy formula. It's good if you have dry skin. It's also good if you just want a kind of a no mess, no fuss type of application. It's easy to carry. Just drop this in your purse. You don't have to worry about anything spilling or getting messy. So when I first started back wearing, makeup during the pandemic, my first foundation out the gate was a stick foundation. It was from ColourPop. It was the ColourPop, what is their name? Pretty Fresh foundation stick, and I ordered the shade 420, and it was the perfect shade match for me, y'all. And that's what I was really excited about makeup, because like, oh my god, this looks so good on me. My skin was hydrated. My skin, I looked like myself. It blended in perfectly, and I was just so excited about makeup. And I took pictures, sent it to my friends. They did not care. So that's when I decided I'm gonna start a YouTube channel, because I know some people out there that care, that cares about how this foundation looks on my skin. But anyway, y'all, that's another video that's coming up. But anyway, so, but the only thing about that foundation, it had no staying power. It would slide right off your face as soon as you got warm, hot. So I had to move on, and the journey started. But this stick foundation from Tom Ford is beautiful. The formula is beautiful. I have the shade 11 Dusk. Now this was a total blind buy, because while they were going out of business, they only had certain shades available, and it was marked 50% off. That's why I went ahead and purchased it, because this is a $90 foundation. I got it for $45. So I just selected the shade 11 Dusk, just eyeing it. It looked like it could be a shade for me. And this is what it looks like. Now, I've worn this several times, and someone told me in my comment section that they felt like it was too dark. But let's see. Now, I know I said you're supposed to try out the foundations along your jawline, but I'm just kind of going from my from my cheeks down to the jaw, just to give just a little bit more, just to give you guys a little bit more of an example of what the coverage looks like. Now, you guys tell me you think that's too dark. Honestly, I don't think this is the best shade for me. If I had a little bit more time to kind of figure out their shade, because they don't even tell you if it's a neutral, warm, anything like that. It's just a number and a name. A number and a name. But this feels so good. It's so smooth. And maybe that's why I don't really care about the shade, because I'm like, it feels so good on my face. And really, once I put my concealer and everything on, I feel like it looks fine. But I've been told that it's too dark for me. So you guys let me know down below, what do you think? Is it too dark? Because even if I put it right here on my nose, again, the lightest part of my face, let's just try that. It's definitely too dark for my nose. But I feel like on the perimeter of my face, I feel like it works. And once I blend everything out, I feel like it looks fine, but you guys let me know, is it too dark? And that's another thing, guys, I want to touch on when it comes to purchasing foundations. Think about your budget. You know, if you feel like, you know what, I don't want to spend a lot of money on foundation. I just want something quick, simple, and that's very affordable. Take me to the drugstore. Or you may be the person that feels like, hey, I don't mind spending money as long as it's going to give me the quality that I expect. Then that's fine too. Me personally, I believe there are 3 categories of foundations. There are the drugstore, the more affordable brands. Then there's the high-end brands. And then there's the luxury brands. I feel like Tom Ford is a luxury brand just by the price point. I typically stick to the high-end brands. I'm not a drugstore person when it comes to purchasing foundations or even powders, really. Or even concealer. Any type of complexion products, I typically stick in the high-end range. I will do luxury if there's a sale, but I just don't automatically gravitate to a luxury foundation. Now, somebody may say, well, Dior is luxury. Yeah, Dior is luxury, but the face and body brand, well, the face and body formula is their least expensive product. It is, I think I paid like $40 for that. But the Dior Forever part of their brand is a little bit more expensive. I think those foundations go for like $57. So it just depends on what you're willing to spend. Again, I typically stay in the high-end range when it comes to foundations. Okay, y'all, so this is another foundation. This is one of my favorite foundations, and if you've been watching my channel, you've seen me use this foundation so many times. It's the Urban Decay Face Spun Foundation. This is a self-setting waterproof foundation. I have the shade 33 Deep Neutral, again, a neutral tone. I did use the shade finder on Sephora to help me select this shade. Now, it gave me 3 different shades. It gave me a shade lighter than this, and then it gave me a shade darker than this. I stayed in the middle because I felt like that was the safest thing to do. Now, this is another tip I have. When you're choosing foundations, I tend to err, if I'm going to pick the wrong one, I tend to err on the side of too dark. So you can have a foundation that is too light, too dark. If I'm going to, like I said, err, I err on the side of too dark. Because when you have a foundation that may be a little slightly too dark, you can always lighten it up with your concealer. Now, on the flip side, if you select a foundation that, oh my God, it's too light, you can also dial it down when you use bronzer and contour, that type of thing. Now, I feel like this foundation, this shade, if I had selected the other one that they suggested I get, I think it would have been too dark, because I think this is almost dark. I'm just going to show you guys what it looks like in the center of my face. Just take a little bit. See, See what that looks like in the center. So again, I could have selected a shade that matches the center of my face. Probably if I would have taken that one that was too light. But I feel like this one is closest to the perimeter. You have to decide, do I want a shade that's going to match the center of my face and bring that shade out or bring that tone out? Or do I want to match to the perimeter of my face and bring that tone in? I chose to go to the darker side and bring it in, y'all, because we're going to be using a lighter concealer. So that's one of the reasons why I do that. But anyway, this is 33 Deep Neutral in the Urban Decay Face Spawn. You guys let me know, is this my shade? All right, guys, so our next foundation is going to be the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. I have the shade 50 Deep Warm. So this is going to be a warm foundation. And y'all, this is a good foundation. If you are a person that really prefers more affordable foundations and you don't want to spend a lot of money, y'all, this was $8. $8. And it performs like a high-end foundation. I love this foundation. So we're going to see if I pick the right shade. Again, this is 50 Deep Warm. So you can see that is definitely a warm shade. I'm going to put just the rest of it to my nose so you can see what it looks like on my nose. 50 Deep Warm. I like this. I like it. I think it blends in very well to the outer parts of my face, and it's okay for the center as well. I mean, it's a little dark for the center, but I think once I blend it out, everything, it looks nice. It looks nice. So I do like this shade. $8. You guys let me know. 50 Deep Warm. Is this my shade? All right, guys, so our final foundation. We're going to be going in with the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Foundation with Niacinamide. This is a foundation with the skincare ingredients, and niacinamide, like I said before, is to really give you that smooth look. And I've only worn this one time, and I have the shade Chocolate Mousse 450G. Again, complicated shade names. So there's a name, Chocolate Mousse, a 3-digit number, 450, and then a letter to identify the undertone, G, which is golden. So Chocolate Mousse 450G. Y'all, is this too light? Put a little bit rest on my nose. Now, with this one, I feel like it matches the center of my face a little bit more than it does the outer parts of my face. But I don't really worry about it. I don't feel like this is something I need to take back and try a different shade. I just really blend in my cream contour and bronzer. I also use the Huda Beauty. She has a faux filter blush in the shade Coco Loco that really looks good with this, and it just all blends in together. So I think it's a little bit too light, but like I said, I play it up with my contour. And I do have a video where I did a first impression of this, so you guys can go back and look at that video. But let me know what you think. This is a golden undertone. Is this my shade? All right, guys, so that's it. Those are all my foundations and the shades that I have in each foundation. Let me know down below, guys. Did I get it right? Did I do a good job of picking my foundation shades? Are there any that you feel like, no, Maria, you need to get another shade? But I will let you know, guys, I am very confident in how I select shades when I purchase a foundation. Let's just recap. So these are some of the things I think about. when I am trying to select a foundation shade. And this is what I would tell anyone when they ask me, how do you find your foundation shade? Number one, I'm just going to say I don't believe in a perfect shade. I believe in finding the best shade for your skin depending on several factors, depending on the brand. So number one, the first question I would ask anyone when you're trying to select a foundation shade, what is your skin type? Do you know your skin type? Are you oily, dry, combination? Do you have sensitive skin? Those are things that you're going to have to know. Number two, understanding your undertone is very important. Are you warm, neutral, cool? Warm, cool, or neutral? We talked about at the beginning of the video how to determine that. And, and if you really don't know, stick with neutral. You can stick with a neutral undertone, and I believe it should work. But then when you're looking to find that shade, number three, when you're looking to find the right shade, after you've understood your skin type, your undertone, think about where to test out the foundation. Do you want to just use your face? Look at your face, look at the tones in your face. Again, I'm lighter in the center of my face, darker on the outside. I tend to match my foundations to the outside of my face, not the inside of my face. Also, you can match your foundations to your neck. You can match it to your chest, because sometimes our neck is darker than our face. Sometimes our chest is lighter than our face. So, we have to think about those things. So think about how you're going to be wearing your foundation, and how do you want that foundation to look once everything is done? Do you want to match it to your face, your neck, or your chest? It's going to look. Number four is test out the foundation in natural light. That way you'll get the best results of how the foundation is going to look on your skin as you go about your day. Sometimes I've heard people saying, oh yeah, I went to Sephora and they tested it out on me. They gave me this shade. I got home and it looked a mess. Because sometimes store lights, department store lights, they can be different from the lighting you have at home. They can be different from the lighting that's outside. So again, I always try to test. Yeah, I'm sorry, I got this hair. So again, I always try to test your foundations in natural light. Like I said, I purchased everything online because that's what I had to do at the time. And I just had to order things online, wait till it got to my house, and then I tested it in natural light. And that's one reason I think my foundations, like I said, I think I did pretty good with the foundation. So natural light, y'all, natural light. So there's a number five. So number five for me, another question I would ask after testing out different foundations. I haven't tested out a whole lot of foundations, but I know there are other creators on here who have used hundreds of foundations. I have not. But I would ask a person, what is your budget? Like, what do you want to spend? I had a friend call me. She said, hey, I'm in CVS looking for a foundation. What do you suggest? My suggestion to her was to get out of CVS. That was just my that was just my advice. But some people may feel like, I want affordable foundations. I'm not looking to spend a lot of money. But then you may have somebody that says, you know what, I don't mind spending the money. Just give me the quality, give me the performance that I need. So like I said, I typically stick with high-end foundations because I feel like there's better performance there. And then I still have trauma from my teenage years when we couldn't go to the drugstore to find foundations. It was just horrible. But I know foundations in the drugstore have come a long way over the years. I get it. And I've seen people, who really love drugstore foundations. I just choose not to go back there. Number six, I would say think about your lifestyle when you're choosing a foundation. Again, this is going to go back to the performance. Like, what do you need a foundation to do? Are you a person that just, you don't wear makeup every day? You don't wear foundations every day. You just want something to have on those special occasions. Maybe you're doing date night with hubby.Maybe there's an event a couple of times a year. You just want to have a nice foundation to go to. And you just want one good foundation. Or maybe you're a person, you work outside of the home. You wear makeup every day to work. You need something that's going to be long wearing. You need something that's going to stay on your face all day. Or maybe you're a person that you work in high activity environments and you need a a foundation that's really gonna outperform anything that you have going on in your environment. If you work in environments that may be too hot, too cold, you're going to be wearing the foundation all day. You're going to be doing a lot of talking. You're going to be maybe doing a lot of laughing, eating, drinking. So you need a high performance foundation. Just think about your lifestyle also when you're choosing a foundation. And I think that's it, y'all. I think that's it. And then at the end of the day, if all else fails, go to a beauty counter and let a professional help you choose your foundation. But you can also come equipped with your own knowledge to help them better help you. Okay? All right, guys. So that's it on my tips and tricks on how to find your best foundation shade or the best foundation for your skin. Let me know down below if I missed anything, left out anything, or if you have any additional questions, please put them down in the comment section. I'll answer. I would love to have a conversation with you surrounding this topic because I just feel like it's just so important. Finding the right foundation, it would be a game changer in your makeup routine. I always say she who findeth a foundation findeth a good thing. Okay, so yeah, let me know down below, guys, anything you want to contribute to this conversation. I will really appreciate it. If you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do so right now. Hit the like button, and most importantly, I need you guys to come back for the next video. Okay, all right, bye.